Yo, my G, what you saying?
My G.
What up, and greeting, guys! Sorry, it took me a while to get to this video, which is gonna be my full Blizzcon impressions. There was a lot of announcement and a lot of interesting and cool stuff going on. I really wish I can go one day, but hey, we'll see if that will happen in the future. I'll go over the news from the games that I do care about. Sorry about not covering Heroes of the Storm. Not really into it. Sorry about that. So let's begin with WoW. We're gonna go WoW, then Overwatch, and then we'll leave Hearthstone for last. So with WoW, there was two major announcements. One of them was Battle for Azeroth, and the second one was Classic Servers. Battle for Azeroth is sort of returning to the roots. When I started playing, it was with Warcraft 2, and then I played Warcraft 1 afterwards. It's this Horde versus Alliance conflict that has been there from the beginning, basically, since orcs really came to Azeroth. And after all these major threats that we were facing in the past, and just recently we beat Legion's ass, which was one of the major threats. It's good to see something that is, you know, it kind of reminds me of Mist of Pandaria. I don't think that it's gonna be the ending of the expansions, as to say, because the factions can't really eliminate each other. But it's a nice change to what we've been encountering so far, and one major threat after the other one. I mean, what are we gonna go next? Old Gods, which is probably one of the last evil forces left unbeaten in the universe. So it's good to take a break a bit. Like I said, it reminds me a bit of Mist of Pandaria, where we sort of were concentrating on the conflict and how the factions, Alliance versus Horde, are really different against each other, and the Pandaren could choose to belong to one or the other, depending on how the player felt. So that's really cool. Allied races, which are a new thing coming in. So when you have a max level character, you can choose to play an allied race from, I believe it's like level 20 or something like that. And that's really cool, because they're adding, I mean, they could add it as customization options, but having it as a full-fledged thing with, you know, its own traits and stuff like that gives a bit more personalization. And I think that it's something that was really needed in WoW, to sort of make the players feel like they have a unique character to play with. And they're talking about adding more in the future, which I'm really much looking forward to. Amani trolls! Yeah, I don't think that we're getting more trolls anytime in the future, since we're just getting Zandalari right now. Or Zandalari, sorry. So I don't play WoW no more, from like maybe 4 years ago, since I started playing Hearthstone. But I'm mainly following it because of the lore. You know, it's interesting to see what happens to Jaina, what happens to Sylvanas, and Vorjin, the most tossed away war chief of them all. So we're gonna see what actually happened to his story, or what's happening to his story now that he's up there with the lower spirits and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that, and Noble covering all of that. I will not be playing WoW's latest expansion, but I might be playing on vanilla servers. So the second announcement was vanilla servers. People have been, you know, very vocal about wanting vanilla servers for a while now. And after Blizzard shut down Nostalrius, which was a massive free-to-play classic server, you know, there were talks about if they're gonna do it. They always sort of said no straight away, and now it was announced. I don't think that they really clearly know what to do about it now. I think there might be a series of polls as to, you know, what sort of quality of life improvements you want to be having, because they talked that they don't want to bring it out with the bugs that the game initially released with, and of course it was very imbalanced. Some classes were really crap, some specs were really crap. So let's see. Let's hope that the quality of life improvements will not overshadow the actual vanilla experience, and the nature of what people are missing. I mean, there's a lot of talk already. People that are saying that, you know, they just wanted to bring it back because of nostalgia, and they might not be playing for more than a couple of months. But I think that when the servers will release, probably alongside the next expansion or a content patch, WoW might actually hit one of its peaks in terms of subscribers to the game. Will it bring me personally back into the game? I mean, maybe. I played vanilla briefly. I sort of really got into WoW when it was in TBC, and I did play on a private server for a while. and I have very limited free time now. That's why, you know, the content is rolling out very, very slowly. But I was enjoying the game when it was very challenging, very difficult, when not everyone would access everything and have everything. You know, nowadays, yes, there's heroics, there's mythic levels, but it's pretty much different tints of the same gear. Yes, the content is available to everyone that subscribes, but I think this desire to see or to be where that person has been, and you not wearing the same piece of armor as them because they've sort of had to get there, is or at least for me, it was really a driving force behind my motivation to become better at the game and to play better, to get into a better guild, etc., etc. If you want to have more of a breakdown, I would really recommend Noxious video, why we wanted vanilla servers. It's about 2 hours long, so if you've got some time, go and watch it. I'll link it in the description below. And he's making a series of videos about vanilla and about some classes, and he really knows his stuff, so I do recommend going to it. I hope they're not bringing LFR or any sort of, you know, looking for group, because I think that's one of the biggest you know, things about vanilla and TBC was actually trying to form those groups through general chat and, you know, different chats, and the fact that you had a guild that was social and that was willing to help you was something that was really important, and I don't really feel like it's in the game now anymore. So yeah, vanilla servers, I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I'm not really sure if it's going to bring me back into the game, but it's very far away in my opinion. I think it's going to take maybe at least a year or two before they, you know, polish it and give it to us, because Blizzard is known for, you know, having products that are very, very polished, and right now I think that they agreed to do it, but they have no idea of how to implement it and what they actually want to do about it. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see how it actually ships. All right, next piece of news is Overwatch. So we had Moira. Moira, isn't that like a fabric, like cashmere? Moira, is it? No, maybe not. Which is basically Mercy's evil sister, and she is a hybrid healer that needs to do DPS in order to recharge her energy, which is something that's really, really cool. And I really like additions like that are not just the simple, you know, press left to heal, sort of Mercy style. Also Blizzard World, which is a new map, which is a hybrid map, I believe. It's kind of giving a Heroes of the Storm vibe, because it's all the games mashed together. But it's something fun and something, you know, that it's a bit out of this quite serious Overwatch tone, and, you know, the conflict that is going in between Talon and Overwatch, and, you know, the Omnics and everything is kind of deep and gloomy. So that's something really good to see. I think something a bit more lighthearted. A new cinematic was also released, Honor and Glory, featuring young Reinhardt, young and reckless, which gives you the feels. I feel like the cinematics are really getting better and better. Not only the Battle for Azeroth cinematic, which is probably the best cinematic that we've seen so far. I mean, in terms of graphics and emotions, and the pacing is super, super good. And Honor and Glory really, you know, catches you in the feels. Unlike the May one, which was again kind of cute, Honor and Glory sort of shows you a different side of Reinhardt. I feel that the people might have not, you know, they've always seen him as this ideal warrior that protects, but he wasn't always been like that. Spoilers. I think you've all seen it by now, so not really spoilers. I managed to give Moira a go, because she went live thing like 2 days ago on the official servers, and she's super, super fun to play. The shift ability where you blink sort of, or it's a very short distance speed, and people can't really see which directions you're going. It's good for getting away. And the fact that she always needs to be in a fight, or is reliant on, you know, fighting and healing at the same time. She needs to stick with her team, which is also, you know, very welcome. It's also very welcome that it's not another DPS hero like we had Slay off just in the past now. And I think the supports really need something something cool and interesting for people to pick supports, because it kind of gets tiring always filling up as a tank or support when everyone just insta-locks DPS heroes, because they're the cool ones and they're getting all those medals, you know, and you only get medal for healing and that's it. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about Moira and people figuring it out. And even though it's a stupid ass name, I have to say that Moira is one of why Moira, you know. But yeah, anyways, I did have a lot of fun with her. I think that ultimate, especially when you get in a massive team fight and you just stream the beam in the middle of the team fight and you're healing, sort of transcendence, healing all your teammates to full while also killing everyone in its wake. I mean, I had a quick play game where I had like 10.5k healing just by, you know, not really being good at her. And it's a nice change. It's a really nice change, to be honest. All right, so finally, we're getting to Hearthstone. Hearthstone next expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs. No one was really expecting that. I think people were expecting Dead Mines once they seen Captain Cookie as one of the cards in recent Brawl, or something pirate related, which would be rather unfortunate considering how much pirate stuff has been going on lately. The expansion should be coming out in 9th of December, or 7th to 9th of December, which is about 3 weeks ago. So we're going to get a lot of releases. And the new mechanic that they're implementing is recruit, similar to sort of Barnes that recruits a 1/1. No, he actually doesn't recruit because he doesn't pull out a minion from your deck. So he summons a copy of a 1/1 and the card actually stays in your deck. But similar to Yasharj, so Yasharj recruits a minion from your decks and puts it into play. So that's the effect. So probably Yasharj wording will get changed to recruit. Recruit a minion at the end of your turn. Who knows? Because Blizzard and consistency is, you know, is problematic sometimes. The new dungeon mode seems super exciting. You know, it's the first time that we're actually getting something different to what we had since basically Naxxramas, which was the first adventure where you fight through the wings and then you defeat 3 to 4 bosses in every wing, and then you fight in the final wing, you defeat the final boss, then you get a card back. You know, this one seems to be very innovative in the way that you're building your deck, and hopefully it's going to be challenging. I hope that the AI actually is worth something, because it was a problem in the past. The bosses were sort of super overpowered because the AI just did dumb shit, and it's one of the things that they really need to work on, I think, especially when it comes to, you know, new player experience, which I'm going to touch on a bit later. We are going to get weapons for all classes. So people are like, where's the legendary weapons? So now every class gets a legendary weapon, similar to how we had quests, you know, and DKs in the previous 2 expansions. This year is actually be the first year where we didn't have an adventure in, you know, the 3 expansions were all 130 cards big or large, and that's actually super exciting. So right now we have, you know, 6 expansions, or one of them is an adventure, which is One Night in Karazhan. And when April rolls out the next expansion, we're gonna go from 6 to 4. So right now we have the biggest pool, or we're gonna have the biggest pool of cards which people can play about, which again, for a new player, I think that that's one of the things that they really need to work on going forward, is the new player experience. Not only is the tutorial completely updated, not only you know, Creep released a video about it, that's the game feels more and more expensive, harder to get into. If someone was asking me, should I go into Hearthstone now, I would say no, just wait until April, because you're gonna have less cards to worry about getting. And you know, it's fair enough that we have the welcome bundle, it's fair enough that we get a free DK, or we get a free Marin the Fox, or we get, you know, a couple of free packs here and there with arena run and stuff like that. But I just don't feel that it's enough. You know, the grinding and all the stuff is not sufficient enough for you to have a decent collection. And yes, you can stick to one meta deck for the entire expansion, but is that really fun? You know, for new players that wanna build up a collection, basically, they just don't want to play the same stuff every single day just because, you know, there's this net deck that I've downloaded and that's the stuff that I'm gonna play for the next 4 months. Doesn't really feel that great. So yeah, due to the new legendary weapons, Ooze and Harrison Jones is probably gonna be quite good. Even though I think some weapons will have Death Rattle effects that will be a drawback if you play an Ooze against them. Like the new Druid weapon, I think gives you like 10 empty mana crystal once it's destroyed. So if you play Harrison Jones against it, it's not really that great. You know, you draw a couple of cards, but then the Druid suddenly has 10 mana to play with, so not so great. And yeah, I think that's the expansion should be a lot of fun. I think that people are expecting a lot, especially after Ungoro, which in my opinion was probably might have been the best expansion that they released so far. And Knights of the Frozen Thrones had a lot of flavor coming back from Warcraft games, and you know, establishing the DKs as heroes. A lot of the cards when Knights of the Frozen Throne cards were announced, a lot of the cards were just completely undervalued, like the Princess, you know, that turned out to be really, really good, especially Kalaseth. And that's probably going to happen even with this expansion. I think that a lot of the cards are going to be undervalued because they're not being tried by the players, I guess, you know. So I don't really watch predictions anymore, and you will not be getting predictions from me because yes, one of the things that I think that I'm going to be wrong 80% of the time. Second of all, simply don't have time for it, but I'm going to try to do my lists of, you know, 5 most undervalued cards by my opinion, 5 most overpowered cards, 5 most fun cards from the reveals as they come along, to give you guys some lists. And yeah, so I do enjoy the fact that Blizzard is taking more risks nowadays. I think that I would like to see more interactions with cards from Graveyard, you know, tutor cards, but just the fact that they're trying out, you know, items that are going to slowly upgrade, the fact that they're trying those specific weapons for each classes. Heck, even, you know, the quests were innovative, DKs are innovative because it's a new type of card that it's not a minion or a weapon. So maybe we're gonna get enchantments soon, who knows. But yeah, that's just a couple of things that I would want to see improve in 2018. I think that the improvements are sort of rolling out, but this is quite a critical point for Hearthstone where it needs to draw more players in, and the new player experience, the laddering system needs a rework, the arena system needs a rework. I think that adding the 9 cards that are going to be, you know, added into arena for a short time are a start, but they definitely need to do more. You know, maybe getting 20 gold per free wins might be a bit too much, but it used to be in beta, or maybe in alpha, it used to be 5 gold per free win. So why not actually bump it up to 20? You know, it will make people play more games a day, because 20 is way more than 10. It's twice as much, right? Maths, quick maths. But yeah. Anyways, just a couple of things, couple of suggestions. I don't know what you think about the new expansions. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the reveals so I can make my lists. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye to you. I've been rambling for long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Take care. I could be the